Okay, we'll do a quick update. Guys, we know that nobody watches these videos.
Boom.
We literally put our social security number on the screen for this whole video. Nobody watches it. But how do you not see that?
Okay, guys, how are you ignoring Bitcoin
how
at
are you
28,000?
ignoring this? Guys, Bitcoin is at almost $30,000, man.
Ethereum, $740. Okay.
$740, guys. It's gonna hit 28,000 while we're on this thing. I mean,
well, wait, hold on. Before you continue, like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 200 subs. Please like and subscribe. Please, please.
Yes, please like and subscribe this. Like and subscribe.
I know we're begging. It's unbecoming of us, but you know.
Jesus, but man,
I beg my wife for a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
I'm totally cutting that out.
Why are you cutting that out? That's funny, dude. That's funny.
You're trying to be like you're going for that Al Bundy play. I see.
Well, you know what? Whatever gets us some subs, I will do.
I'm not even going to tell you to like and subscribe because no one's watching this video. Like, I don't understand what Bitcoin has to do for people to take this thing serious. Like, I understand.
Look at this. Look at this.
It's super expensive. And people go, oh my God, Bitcoin. I want my FUV. I want my Neo at $15. I want my Neo Volta at $4. Guys, you can put $4 or $5, $10, $100 into Bitcoin, and it will do the same. You'll get the same return.
Right. I mean, like a 5x is a 5x, no matter if it's 0.01 Bitcoin 5xing, 1 Bitcoin 5xing, it doesn't matter.
People think if they don't have the money for a full Bitcoin, that it's not going to work.
And then they're going after a shit coin like XRP, which I had a lot of shit coin.
And now what's happening? And now what's happening?
Oh my God. So let's go to XRP chart. You want to do this?
Yeah.
You go to it? Oh my God. And remember, I drew you the line before it was even.
Oh, it's bad.
Okay, so XRP.
We're gonna find out how much the owners of XRP have in XRP, because that's basically all that's going to be left. This thing's going to go to like 14 cents. 15.
No. I see. You know, this is what I technically see somewhere. Ending somewhere at 6 to 10 cents.
6 to 10 cents is basically the two founders of XRP, their mom and like their uncle that they forced.
Well, unfortunately, the problem with crypto, well, we're going to talk about XRP, but crypto is very fickle. So if there's any bad news, then people just dump whatever position they have, especially altcoins like XRP.
Well, yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if this little bump we're seeing in Ethereum and Bitcoin is people moving that money over.
People have already moved the money over, and honestly, unfortunately, I was dumb enough to not sell at the 50-cent mark.
Right.
And I had a lot of XRP just to go over the history of it for years now, and I would have still held it. The problem is the news we're talking about is the SEC. I don't know if you can bring this up, but the SEC is suing Ripple, the company that has a lot of XRP and possibly distributed it illegally and is a security. So if XRP
wait, before you say the word illegal, it would be illegal if XRP is technically classified as a security. Then what they've been doing?
Well, a court will decide that.
A court will decide that, right? But them trading XRP is not illegal.
And selling, XRP is fine, but them selling XRP to generate income for their company and their operations, that could be a securities violation. And honestly, most likely what's going to happen is they're going to get a slap on the wrist, just like EOS did. I don't know if you remember following that news, but EOS, they had to pay, I think, $4 million after raising $4 billion, okay, to the FCC, as a fine to the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. If Ripple is fined and all they got to do is, if Ripple is like found guilty and all they have to do is pay a fine or correct something, which is probably going to happen. But the thing is, I had a lot of money in XRP. And I can't leave it there for 2 years while this is discovered, while this happens.
It's not going to be 2 years. Okay, first of all, it's not going to be 2 years.
Well, even 3 months. Imagine Ethereum now is 1,400 in 3 months. So what I did, let me just tell you, and then we'll go into more of this, but I sold 75% of my XRP. I'm still keeping a good portion of it. I had a lot, and I put it into...
Right, you converted it to
Ethereum. I did a math calculation. Look, XRP was going to do. Look, it's moving down as we talk. It's looking, dude. XRP is dropping as we're speaking.
Yeah,
by the way,
I know we don't have much time, guys. We can't get anecdotal.
but my point is that look, Ethereum, I moved it into because that's honestly a safe bet. So obviously I've lost money in XRP. I've accepted it. I'm keeping some position just in case this thing gets resolved by the SEC in the next couple of months and XRP is off to the races. I'll still make money. I'm not afraid. Because 50 cents, if it passes 50 cents to $2.50, look, I'm going to do fine. But in the meantime, Ethereum is on a hot streak. And in the next couple of months, Ethereum might be $1,400. Like, this is no joke, right?
No, it is no joke. And again, a lot of the bump that we're seeing in Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think, is a result of this. It's just people moving that money over, just like
it could be. Yeah,
I mean, even
I agree.
Since the start of this video, it's lost a penny.
I mean, yeah, a penny's a lot. It's a big look. It's 10% down today.
Right, or you could buy that other company that I bought, AILY, that joke electric company. We gotta do a video on those guys. But anyway, the point is, how are you guys still ignoring Bitcoin? We understand that Bitcoins are expensive, but you don't need to buy one to participate in the gains. The money doesn't care where the gains come from. We're talking about a Bitcoin. We're talking about a Bitcoin being $100,000 at this point next year, or roughly. That is roughly a 4x from where we're at. If you put $1,000 into Bitcoin right now, you're going to have $4,000 next year. That's all you need to know. So don't be worried about it.
Do the math. Yeah. My point being that, look, we see what's happening with money printing in the whole world, right? With the whole, not just the United States, everywhere.
It's everything combined. Yes, it's the halving event combined with the money printing, combined with the pandemic, combined with more stimulus.
Right now, millionaires and billionaires have free money to them from the Fed, basically saying, here, borrow as much as you want, right? We're going to buy your corporate debt.
On top of the 21 trillion that was pulled out in March. I mean, that's what tanked the markets. 21 trillion came out, 2.2 stimulus went in, and now the 21 trillion is trickling back in. This was today. Wasn't this today? Panthers player Russell Okung becomes the first NFL player to be paid in Bitcoin. He literally tweeted out in what was it, 2019 or 2020? Tweeted out in Bitcoin, and then he got paid in Bitcoin. Half of his salary will come in Bitcoin. He's got a.
Well, here's a question. I don't know if it's answered, but I don't know if you know how to answer it. But why doesn't he just get the fiat and just buy Bitcoin? Like, what is the difference? Is there tax benefits?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I honestly think he would be doing that to use his celebrity to bring attention to the fact that he's
I think it's more of that.
Bring attention to it, get other players to do it, increase the market cap. It's kind of like that move where they're trying to get Tesla to drop the balance sheet into Bitcoin. If they do that, Facebook does it. I mean, we did a rough calculation. If all of the main companies did 10%, it would hit $1 trillion overnight, right? So again, football players, if half of the football players took half of their salaries and wanted to be paid in Bitcoin, you're going to see that in the market cap.
Right. It's basically him pumping his own bags, and I agree with it because I have the same bags. So go ahead and pump it.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's like. We only don't keep our money in the bank because it doesn't grow there, right? So if you put the money in Bitcoin and if you had all your money in Bitcoin, you're not going to withdraw it. You know, you're going to ride the ups and downs, and it's just going to stay there, which is going to make it more stable. And I think a lot of this new money that comes in, once it gets to a certain market cap, maybe it's over $1 trillion, it'll actually just be a lot more stable. It won't be as volatile. It'll be more like gold.
There was an interview with the Kraken guy. Do we want to bring that up? And he basically says Bitcoin is going to do well, and he goes into the whole thing. But he says between now and $1 million a coin, he actually said this, between now and $1 million a coin, there's going to be a lot of volatility, which honestly, me and you should be okay with that because we want the volatility up. Then we got to sell. Then we want it coming down. Then we got to buy.
I mean,
we're going up and we sell.
We're essentially getting to a point where at this price point at $27,000, $28,000, $30,000, like the only way we're going to ever be able to buy and sell full Bitcoins is from the profit of Bitcoin sales.
Right. We need Bitcoin to hit 100,000. And then we need to sell some Bitcoin. We need to buy it back at around 50, 40,000.
That's the only
way. In the game.
That's the only
way. I mean, we have the plan. Do we want to play the Kraken interview? It's kind of good.
All right, final trades in just a minute. However, first we have another special Ask Halftime video question. This one from Kevin O'Leary.
Hey, Mr. Wonderful here, and I've got a really simple question for the traders, and I don't want the loosey-goosey all over the map answer. Yes or no will suffice. Do you own any Bitcoin?
All right, thank you, Kevin. Doc, you're, I think, the only one who does.
No.
Yep.
Oh, Josh Brown.
I own
Watch
it.
his response.
I've owned it since 2017, Scott.
and I think it goes a lot higher than this. I'll just say that to Kevin directly.
Russell Okung, he's the Pro Bowl offensive tackle with the Carolina Panthers today. He'll receive half of his $13 million salary in Bitcoin. It's funny, back in May of last year, he tweeted, "Pay me in Bitcoin," and today, "Paid in Bitcoin" was another one from at Russell Okung. So interesting, Josh.
I don't understand. Can't he just take his salary and convert it himself in like 2 seconds?
Exactly.
I don't understand. All right, whatever. I'm in Bitcoin. I agree with John. I think it's going higher.
Well, what's funny is that
wait, before we go.
Well, no, hold on. What's funny is they are even acquiescing, and now everyone's in Bitcoin. It's okay to be in Bitcoin now. Well, 6 months ago, it was not okay to be in Bitcoin.
Yeah, he threw it out like, "Yeah, I'm in Bitcoin." The other guy, but you can see like the first guy was like, "Oh yeah, I've been in it since 2017, and I think it's going to go higher." You can see that he was like, "I could throw a ton of a bullish argument at you."
Right.
He was like, "I'm just going to say I think it's going to go a lot higher." It's like everyone that buys it, we all know that we're looking at $100,000. Minimum. And
well, I want to be clear. That's not tomorrow. So anyone who's thinking you don't have to wait, you're a fool. It can have a 30%, 40% massive correction in a bull market even.
Yeah.
Just know that's a buying opportunity and not a selling opportunity. If you're running away because you're a goddamn pussy, I'm going to say it. This channel speaks the truth. Okay. Well, do not buy Bitcoin if you're a pussy. I'm not kidding.
Bitcoin is not for the faint of heart. You got to buy it, and you got to know when you want to sell it, and you don't do anything till it hits that price.
Yeah, you got to pick a number, and then you scale out. Bottom line.
That's your price. The 20% correction, the 30% correction. Understand something, especially with Bitcoin and with stocks. When stocks go down, it's not like anything bad happened. It just means that people sold their shares. And with Bitcoin having been around for 14 years now, or 12 years, however long it's been around, and people who've been holding for a long time, you cannot fault them if they take profit at $40,000. If they've been holding them for years and they missed the last bull run, don't get freaked out when there's a big 30% drop and these people finally took their profits after holding, because the fact that they held for all those years is the reason why we have the market cap that you're going to have to make your profits. So don't freak out when you see the 30% drop. It's just people taking profits that have been waiting forever, who got in way earlier than we did, and they're just taking their profits. And you and I will be those people at a later stage. Don't freak out.
Right. Remember, we had a chance at 4,000 this year, and those people, if it goes to 40 grand this year,
there's
going to be some heavy. Yeah, there's going to be some heavy selling pressure.
Man, this thing was at 30. This thing was sub 4,000 for a little bit of time in March, and immediately went back up to $5,000. That was new money. That was new people buying it. It wasn't the same people.
It's also the same people trading. There's a lot of whales manipulating us. I gotta say, but still, yes. If new people see a lower price, like some people come in heavier. Other people, they'll FOMO in. So I expect once we hit like 50, 60,000, we're going to have a whole new set of retail investors mortgaging their house. That's what I think is going to happen. Unfortunately, I'm taking their house. I'm going to put my kids in there.
And I'm going to buy another Tesla, honey.
And I'm getting a second Tesla.
I'm going to buy me a Tesla.
I'm sorry you're living on the street, but you got to come in when it's around 20 grand, not when it's 100 grand.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean, look, I was one of those guys. I was throwing my couple $100 at the $17,000 in 2017, just watching it become nothing. And then at a certain point, I understood how this works.
Right.
And Bitcoin is not like a stock. It works on certain cycles that are just different. It doesn't have earnings. It doesn't have any of that stuff. There aren't PE ratios. It just is what it is. And so
there's a stock to flow. Do you want to show the stock to flow?
No one watches these anyway, guys.
No one's.
By the time we get,
this is just me and you talking.
By the time you and I get 100 views on this video, it's going to be in 2025.
All right. Well, I do want to show this last bit because why not? So this is the Kraken CEO, and Kraken is a big exchange for anyone not paying attention again.
About what has got us to here, and then we'll talk about kind of where we go from here. 2020 appears to be the year that institutional investors have decided that this is a real asset class. How much momentum is there currently in terms of asset allocation?
There's a tremendous amount of momentum behind Bitcoin right now. especially as we lead up into the end of the year. There's a lot of uncertainty to come about the money printing of the dollar. I think a lot of institutional investors, they've had a lot of cash on their balance sheet. A lot of publicly traded companies now are acquiring Bitcoin, accumulating a position. I think the question historically has been, how do you justify having such an exotic, volatile asset on your balance sheet? And this year it's been, how do you justify not having Bitcoin on your balance sheet with kind of performance that we've seen and the kind of inflation that we're seeing now in the market? Holding dollars seems like a very risky prospect compared to something like Bitcoin. I'm
going to stop it there. What he said right there, holding dollars seems like a very risky prospect. And if anyone who's watching our channel does not understand yet, your money's being devalued. Just bottom line, you need to buy assets, whatever that is. I don't care if it's a house. I don't care if it's Tesla stock.
We need to explain. We need to explain, because I had this conversation with a friend of mine today. When your money's devalued, it doesn't mean that it goes down. It doesn't mean like if you've got 30 grand sitting in the bank, it means that you suddenly have 29,000 and 28,000. The devaluing of the money means it's going to cost you more of those dollars to buy the same thing. You might have already seen that in the supermarkets now with meat. Meat has gone up a bunch. If you went out, if you've done any reconstruction on a home, or if you've bought lumber recently, you'll notice that wood prices have almost doubled.
Yep.
Now that could be from a number of factors, but that's what depreciation looks like. It looks like you needing to go out.
I guess that's what inflation looks like, when the money is inflated, right?
Chamath Palihapitiya, he had a great quote yesterday. He said something like, holding cash is like it's melting ice.
Right.
Melting
it's like an ice cube.
Yeah, it's like an ice cube that's melting.
I heard something like this, yeah.
So this is what's happening to the dollars right now. The only way to protect yourself is to put it in assets that will rise. If you're scared of the stock market, actually Bitcoin is a safer place to put it, because it's one place, one exchange. It's a currency. It's not a stock, not driven by the same factors. And that's his point.
For this run up, I think a lot of it is to do with the same reasons that the stock market is running up. People just want to get out of dollars. They don't trust national currencies. The Federal Reserve is saying that there's infinite money out there. People just kind of don't understand where the end of that is, and I think are pumping the cash into assets, hard assets that are generating returns or more likely to hold value than a fiat currency.
And do you think it's almost a kind of circular argument, because as institutions starts to move in, they will force the volatility lower?
I don't think that we're going to see a lower volatility Bitcoin for a long time. Maybe not until Bitcoin replaces all of the world's currencies, which is something that the true believers have predicted would happen all along, and something that the new believers are predicting more and more these days. But I think between 28,000 and $1 million of Bitcoin, you're going to have a lot of volatility. That's potentially another decade. So I think
you heard that. Basically, between now and 1 million of Bitcoin, we're going to have massive volatility, which me and you honestly want. I don't think we want.
I do.
This is why it's important that people buy it today, because when it is hundreds of thousands of dollars, it is no longer a middle class person's game.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get your 2X's anymore. You're not going to get any X's anymore.
If you can't afford it. You can't afford it.
You're not going to be able to put enough skin in the game. So I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know why these videos have so little views. If anyone's watching this video, comment below why you don't watch the rest of it. Like, why don't you guys care about Bitcoin? I'm curious.
At least on our channel, I'm just curious. Obviously, there's Bitcoin channels, but why don't you want to see Bitcoin videos in terms of, because it is another way to buy assets. And what we talk about is freelancer finances. We're trying to become rich. I don't care if Bitcoin gets me there or Tesla.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I just don't give a shit.
If you're gonna if you're willing to put $1,000 into FUV at a $50 million market cap, that's a company that's whatever 10 years old but trading for a year, and you're willing to let that $1,000 ride on that company and ignoring Bitcoin because it seems too risky, I don't understand. I don't.
Right. They're all risky, baby.
But I mean, it's just there's levels of risk here,
Yeah. Well, this channel is all about risk.
Gone up, Anyway, this is not financial advice, but I'm not saying anything here that I haven't said to my friends, and some of them have listened. And I got a couple of those texts today, like, "Hey, man, Bitcoin, are you selling?" Or I got some of those texts today.
It's like when I do get those texts from people, I'm like, dude, you still don't get it. You still don't understand. I'm not selling till you can't call me anymore because I've changed my number on you. Okay.
Right. No, my buddy kept texting me. He was like, but he's like, but do you think we're gonna see any dips? Do you think about anything? And I was like, we don't care until 85,000. He's like, no, I'm asking because I want to buy more. And I was like, attaboy.
There you go. Right. That's the other thing. If someone wants to buy, you can't time this shit. You should just dollar cost average at this point, because at 28,000, look, I know you're not buying whole Bitcoins. Even I'm not looking at this the same way anymore. Ethereum is my next play, obviously, right? I'm buying a lot of Ethereum.
Yeah, I would go down and start building up the Ethereum position.
But to say I'm not going to buy any more Bitcoin is crazy, because if Bitcoin does have a massive 30% correction, I'm buying more Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
But everybody else who doesn't have enough has the dollar cost average. So you put in 500 now, you put in 500 in a week, you put in 500, and then let's hope it drops. And that's when you put in like 10 grand.
Yeah, if you got it. Yeah, that's the way.
That's when you just go fucking heavy at 30% drop, 20% drop. You don't wait to dollar cost average anymore.
You put in as much
fucking
as you
dump the goddamn money in.
Right.
And you let it ride. That's what you do. And then you dollar cost average again. So let's say it goes back up and you start to, because look, under, let's say $50,000, it's still a 2x, right?
Yeah. If it's
fine,
under 50, it's going to double your money.
Fine. But as soon as it's over 50,000, I'm telling everybody, stop buying it.
Just don't even just watch it. Don't even watch it, because you're only going to.
It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time. Just whatever you had, you had. And honestly, Ethereum, we didn't talk a lot about it, but it's $750. It was $1,400 in the last bull run at its
50%
peak.
below discount from its all-time high. It hasn't even crossed all-time high yet.
And Bitcoin has. So Ethereum eventually will cross the all-time high. You know, where do you go at some point? To me, I'm actually starting a lot of Ethereum. That's what I'm doing.
Well, if you look at the, Bitcoin is getting way too pricey. Ethereum is off its all-time high. XRP looks like it's having some
that's dead.
Some serious trouble now. So it's all things are pointing to Ethereum. I would actually say
XRP.
I'd actually say this. If you had 10 grand right now, if you had 10
don't buy XRP.
right. No, don't buy XRP. Put it into Ethereum over Bitcoin. I would say put it in Ethereum.
Well, I would say 50-50. How about that? 50-50?
You could, but okay. In terms
That's
of
still a 3x, a safe 3x, roughly.
In terms of what I think you're going to get off of Ethereum, put it like
this.
Yeah.
Because Ethereum's 5 to 10x, I would say.
If Ethereum goes, if we're thinking that Bitcoin's going to be 4x from here, let's just say, and if you think that Ethereum's going to go 4x from its all-time high, and we're 50% below its all-time high, the percent gains is greater. This channel's called Freelancer Finance, and I think
it's an 8x then. If we're talking 4x for Bitcoin, it's an 8x roughly for Ethereum
at the price point you're buying in now, if it hasn't hit its all-time high yet.
So you got to make a decision, but to stay out of it completely is sort of silly.
Crazy. I don't know what you're waiting.
Yeah.
If you're following this stuff, then if you're following us at this point, then you do somewhat believe the Fed's printing money. You do somewhat believe the philosophy behind what's driving Vitaly and I to do this. You have to agree with that. If you're watching these channels, looking to throw money into Neo Volta, you know what I'm saying?
Neo Volta is more popular than any Bitcoin video we did.
Neo Volta is more popular than anybody. We'll do a Neo video right now, and we'll get 100 people watching it. It's crazy.
Right. And look, I get it. I have those stocks too. I'm just saying, don't ignore other investments. It's like one day we're going to talk about real estate. We haven't talked about that. And to ignore real estate too, you have to be a well-diversified individual if you want to be actually successful. You cannot have 100% of your money in one thing, because if that one thing tanks you, you're sort of screwed.
That's what hurt a lot of people at the beginning of the pandemic, who had all their money in a 401k that was managed by whatever their host company, and that company's stock tanked. Now they have no choice. If you were looking to retire this year, it's the worst thing possible.
Oh no, that'd be terrible.
You watch two-thirds of your retirement money tank, and there's nothing you can do. You can't pull it out because you're baking in those losses, so you're screwed. It's like
Well, what's worse is a lot of people in March pulled out all their retirements, and now the massive run-up, the all-time highs, they've missed the whole goddamn thing. That's the worst thing you could have done, is pull out everything. So a lot of people did that. Luckily, we were smart enough to catch on the sense of money printing. And eventually,
that smells like stimulus up in here. This smells like stimulus?
Me and Carlos, if you watch our beginning videos, we thought too, maybe this is going to last longer and a bigger correction. But look, by April, May, we were dumping the hordes of cash into the market.
Yeah, by April, May, we were like, look, this thing doesn't look like it's going to stop.
I have no choice but to buy. At some point, you have to realize what's happening, and everything we think. See, that's the thing. Me and you at least recognize that what we thought was wrong, so we corrected our action and went the correct way.
Yeah.
There are people still sitting there thinking it's all going to fucking hell. And if there's anything we learned, and once again, we've been now through a couple of corrections, we're a little bit older. It always recovers because, dude, where is it going to go? Like, honestly, like, do we all want to live like cavemen again? No, no one is wanting that scenario, okay? The doomsday scenario that everyone wants to play.
Right.
Even the people who believe in Bitcoin, the lunatics who are like these ultra libertarians, they want it all to go to hell. No, that is not the answer. The answer is that they're going to print more money.
Yeah.
They're going to bail us out.
Yep.
And our future generations are going to pay for this fucking mess. That's the answer. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to hear it this way, but that's the answer.
All you can do is capitalize on it.
You can capitalize on it, yes.
Set yourself up, carve out your own little bubble of protection, set up your portfolios to continue to invest, and just create a barrier between you and any real risk. You know, any real risk is not going to come at you financially. But
the real risk is not to be invested, always thinking it's going to fucking hell. That's the real risk here.
Yes, that is the real risk.
All right, like and subscribe, people.
Like and subscribe, and we'll keep doing this. We really got to work on our endings, because our endings
yeah, we suck at our endings.